welcome back to my channel. It's finals month and I know many of you are cramming last minute for your exams. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you some tips that can help you retain all the information you need in a short period of time. Of course, cramming a whole term's content into just a few days or weeks isn't ideal in the long run, but we are human and we sometimes have other commitments that prevent us from completing our tasks. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first tip is to create a thorough course outline for yourself. You can usually find this information in the course syllabus provided by your professor. What I usually do is create a big title for the chapters and then create smaller checkboxes for each of the subtopics. That way, you can cross off each subtopic before crossing out the completed chapter. When you only have a checkbox for an entire task, you are less likely to get started because it seems like a lot of work and our brains like to fixate on easy tasks. The psychology behind ticking off checkboxes or crossing out to-do lists has to do with dopamine. Motivation is the greatest push to completing our tasks, and when we finish them, dopamine is released, leading to positive emotions. With each subtopic being checked off, you'll have a sense of achievement and be motivated to finish the rest. The second tip is to create a realistic and ideal timeline. Being overly ambitious will burn you out halfway through the task. By breaking down the amount of time you spend per topic or chapter, you can create a general goal for yourself to work forward to. While focusing on one course, it is important that you are aware of the due dates of your other classes as well. Obviously, if you don't complete the tasks within the certain time frame that you've set, it is okay to go over, but make sure to reorganize your time and figure out why it took you so long. This brings us to our third tip. Rank the concepts from your course from the most difficult to the least. By starting off with the harder topics or the ones that you didn't quite understand fully, you are letting yourself have more time before the exam. As I said before, our brains like to spend time on easier tasks and not so much on the harder ones. When it is getting closer to the exam date, reviewing the easier concepts will be less stressful because you know you've already gotten the hard ones out of the way. The fourth tip is to keep yourself or find someone to keep you accountable. Usually keeping yourself accountable is pretty hard, so I suggest try body doubling or an accountability partner. Essentially, it is working with a friend or partner who is also working with you simultaneously, whether that be in the same room or via video chat platforms. This productivity method may help people with ADHD and other forms of neurodivergence to stay focused or motivated while working. Sometimes when I'm unable to find a body double, I'll go over to the library where there are other students studying as well. One study method that I often use, especially in courses that require a lot of memorization, is the feyman study technique. There are 4 key steps to this method. Number 1, you choose a concept you want to learn about. Then, explain it to someone or yourself as if you are instructing a child. After, reflect, refine, simplify, and finally organize and review your thoughts. By doing so, you will be able to grasp a deeper understanding of what you're learning and therefore have an easier time memorizing it. It is like a fluid concept. The harder you try to force yourself to remember, the less you retain it. When cramming for an exam, you usually don't have enough time to practice all the questions. So, it will be beneficial to understand what possible questions may come up during an exam. I usually go into my notes and put a star on topics that I think the professor will most likely test us on. For courses that require math or calculations, it's best to work through a few question samples, and once you get a pattern, it'll most likely be similar on the exam. Lastly, use the active recall method. After learning the chapter or subtopics, Close all your notes and textbooks and grab a blank piece of paper. Write down what you remember and check how accurately you've recalled the information. Write down the things you've missed and read. Why read? A student is more likely to recall the information when it is written in red ink, because red is a color that increases attentional levels and offers high visibility. This is why assignments or test scores and corrections are written in red. So yeah, those are all my tips on how to cram for finals. I want to enhance that cramming for an exam is not ideal, but when you're put into a situation like this, it is the only way. The study tips that I have shared with you today also work in the long run and ultimately give better results as well. Try to get enough sleep the night before your exam. Don't pull an all-nighter because it actually leads to lower productivity and focus levels. Drink lots of water and take breaks when needed. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck to everyone on your exams. If you've reached the end of this video, let me know which method helped you a lot. See you guys soon and stay safe. Bye! 우리는 같이 있었고 이제는 네가 떠나도 I don't care about it all